Leah Hanschel is in for another riveting show. How are you?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Excellent.
I'm well, thank you. Hello, everybody. Well, at Lockerbie, we're in our week one of internal exams, and all of our kids are doing all of their mocks for CXC. And I've been really fortunate this term. I've had the opportunity to teach some junior students as well as some senior students, and it's gone really well for me. And being back in the classroom for 8 hours a week has really got all of my creative juices flowing, and my mind becomes a really busy place. And I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today, and I wanted to go back to that word special. Special. You know, you can say it like special, or you could say it like special, or you could say it special. I don't know if those of you listening to the radio hear the different tones, but it's a very interesting word. Only in education, it seems to me, that it becomes not a very positive word. Because if you look at medicine and you're told, you know what, I could stitch this up for you, but I think it's better we call in a specialist who would be able to, a plastic surgeon who'd be able to put those stitches in so that you're never ever going to see that you had such a horrible gash on your forehead. You'd have no problems with that. You'd be relieved that a specialist was actually coming to put those sutures in. It only seems to be in education that we take that wonderful word special. When education is about children, children belong to parents, and to every parent, every child is special. And we take it and we turn it into something awful and demeaning. And we have this term which I really don't like called special ed, because I think all education should actually be important. It should be special to every single child. So why is it that we take special ed and we try to make it sound as though the child's getting what they need and more than usual, when every child has a right to what they need and more than usual? So today I want to talk about special. For me, what is it like to be labeled a special ed teacher? I'm labeled a special ed teacher, not a mainstream teacher, a special ed teacher. Now, isn't it interesting that I was the one who was put to teach Form 5 and Junior 3, Class 3, with my special ed skills? So I wanted just to talk to you all about what it is, what it means for me to be a special ed teacher. Horrible as that may sound. Okay. Special ed teachers are expected to get the child. I mean, understand the child, understand the complexity of the child's mind, understand what's strong, understand what's weak, understand what's relatively strong or relatively weak, understand what approaches work, understand what approaches don't work, understand where there are triggers that trigger behavior that's not positive, understand the academic, the emotional, the behavioral, the social, all the needs of the child, understand what hidden curriculum the child needs, understand the social aspects of learning, understand the emotional aspects of learning. We're expected to get the child. And in a lot of cases, that's what parents will pay extra money for. And in a lot of cases, that's why parents will agree that their child be taken out of a mainstream, quote unquote, classroom and be put in a special class. But if good teaching practice is that you get the child, surely every class should be best practice. It should be a class that meets the needs of your child. And why should a child whose reading is a little slow or whose writing is a little difficult and so on, why should they be taken out and excluded from that wonderful society of a class and be put into a special class? What we're really saying is that the child needs more attention. And we know that a class of 12 is too big. We know a class of 15 is too big. We know a class of 20 is too big. And we know a class of 32 or 35 is way too big. We know that. So what you're actually saying is that my child is going to get special ed because that's actually what every child should have. For me, I have to get the child. The next thing is you have to be compassionate. Teaching is probably the second most difficult job in my mind after parenting. And both of those jobs are driven by compassion. Do you have any idea how many children are bullied by teachers? Do you have any idea how many children are called stupid by teachers? Do you have any idea of what horrible things have been said? I once read a report of a little boy, 11 years old. He was completely illiterate here in Barbados, and he came to me to help him because guess what? I'm a special ed teacher. Not that I'm a special teacher, I'm a special ed teacher. So he comes to me, he's completely illiterate, and he has 11 plus. He's in the 11 plus year and he can't be deferred. So I said to his mom, could I see his reports? When I read what his class teacher said, I just couldn't believe it. His class teacher had written, "Is disgusting for a child." That's what was written. Now don't tell me that that teacher should still be in teaching. That little boy was a great little kid, but I had to approach him with not just knowledge and skills, I had to approach him with compassion. But let me ask you, shouldn't every single child be approached with compassion? Every single child? You know, these little people are dealing with a lot of stuff that they haven't yet worked through. And they often deal with them alone, especially those teenagers whose behaviors act out. They deal with things a lot alone. Because what's a teenager's biggest fear? Biggest fear is just to be different. Just to be different, just to be singled out in a group or whatever, just to be different. So a teacher owes it to every single child to bring compassion into their special classroom. I don't mean a special ed classroom, I mean a special classroom, because every classroom should be special. Teachers have to be clever, and special ed teachers have to be super clever, which makes me ask, why isn't every teacher clever? Clever in their approach. You know what? When I write my lesson plans for every single class I teach, this is my gauge. If what I write on this lesson plan, where I plan every single minute of every single class, if I'm not fired up to teach this to my kids, there's no way they could be fired up to learn it from me. So my job is to be clever enough to know my children, to feel compassion enough for them in how they learn and how they feel as though they're not learning, to actually prepare a class whereby not only am I fired up to teach it, but that gets them, my students, fired up to actually learn it. The next thing is resilience. As what every special ed teacher knows, and every teacher should actually know, is that you never ever give up. You never ever give up. When you're a special ed teacher and you are working with a child who is dyscalculic, they just don't get math. The language of math, the symbols of math, the concepts of math, the everything of math. Well, you can't give up on them because math is life. Math is a train that we catch. Math is a bus that we get on. Math is the distance we travel, the gas we have in our car, how much we pay to see the movies. Math is everything. A restaurant, a takeaway, the money in your purse, everything is math. Math is the barometric pressure, so you know when, it's dropping so low you really need to bring in your potted plants you get in a storm. Math is everything, absolutely everything. You can't give up on a child. I mean, who gives up on a child? Well, it's very easy if they're 35 in a class, and it's a little less easy if they're 12 in a class, but it's certainly not allowed when they're 4 in a class. You don't give up on a child, because after all, one of you is the adult, and it's not the child. And one of you is paid to get to that child, and it's not the child, it's you. So if you are a jaded teacher who's just become a piece of driftwood without honing your skills and feeling that compassion and having the resilience to never give up, to care enough that you're going home and researching and tearing your hair out, how can I reach this child? How can I get him or her? Believe me, you're in the wrong job. Just like parents never give up, teachers should never ever give up. You know what? Special teachers never ever give up. Special ed teachers know that they can never give up. What else? Building confidence. Do you have any idea how many students, and we're not talking about mainstream special ed, we're talking about students in general. Do you have any idea how many of them, if you ask them, they'll tell you there's nothing they're good at. Nothing they're good at. There is absolutely nothing that they can pat themselves on the back about. Nothing they're good at. How can you feel that way? You know what? It's your job as a teacher to actually find what that child's good at and to set them up for success and help them feel that sense of self-satisfaction that comes with mastering something. You have to be very clever, and you've got to set them up, because until a child has confidence, the confidence to speak up, the confidence to trust you enough to ask a question that you're not going to demean them and make them feel as though they're absolutely a waste of space in your classroom, until you can build confidence and you develop in your child a sense of trust and trusting the process, believe me, you're never going to get it, and you're never going to get that kid. You have to protect their souls. This is what every special ed teacher knows, but what every teacher who is special should actually know. You have to protect their little souls. There's a soft spot inside of every child that's really vulnerable, inside of every human being that's really vulnerable. And in a classroom, when that soft spot becomes visible, it's not just your eyes seeing it, It's not just their eyes seeing it. And sometimes these little eyes well up with tears. It's the eyes of 30 other kids, 20 other kids, 15 other kids, 3 other kids who are actually seeing it. So you've got to build their confidence, and you've got to protect that soft spot inside of them where they feel that they're good at nothing. These kids have to have fun. They have to have fun learning. Every child needs to have fun learning. Because you know what? Learning hurts. Learning hurts. When you push those boundaries whereby you don't understand the concept and you have to fight through the tunnel and the struggle to actually understand that concept, it hurts. It hurts your brain and it makes you tired. And if it's too hard, they want to give up. They can't give up. The one way to deal with that is find a way to write a lesson plan which you will enjoy teaching, which they will have fun learning. You have to be their ally. This is what every special ed teacher knows, and what every teacher, because teachers are special, they should know. For every child who's not just special ed, but special, every single one of them, they need to have an ally. They need to have a defender of their mind. Every single child will learn differently. Some may be strong interpersonally. Some of them maybe have strong musical talent. This Gardner had this wonderful theory of multiple intelligences. Every child has a strength, and you have to be a defender of their mind in which that strength can actually blossom. Special teachers, what do? We motivate students to develop skills, and we teach skills so that these are what's transferable. Right now, we teach skills with curriculum, but life teaches skills with other things. So we need to develop skills, and we need to motivate students to press on through the roadblocks of learning, which are painful. And of course, they need to trust the process. And you need to explain to them so that they buy into your process. But to do that, you need to have a relationship based on trust. How do you get that? You listen to what they have to say. You listen to what they have to say. I listened to my class 3s last week, and they said to me, we love going outside with the plants and the chickens and the whatever else, and that's how we love learning. I listened to them. I said, hey, would you guys like to do maybe some classes in environmental awareness and some STEM classes and some agris classes next term? And all of them resoundingly said yes. You know what I did? Called in my teachers and I said, okay, so we're going to write English plans around this. We're going to write math plans around this. We're going to write social studies plans around this, because that's what special ed teachers do. Now, I don't have special ed students in my junior class. However, I have special students, and I'm not a special ed teacher per se. I consider myself to be a special teacher, but every teacher needs to be a special teacher because every student is a special student. So after you've heard all of that and my rant about special and my pet peeves and all that kind of thing, if you think that your child needs special care or your child needs to be treated and valued because they are special, and your child's not receiving that now, your child's in the wrong place. Your child's in the wrong place. How long do they have to work in the wrong place and suffer agony every day before they have a chance to shine. You have to think about that really carefully. So as term 3 approaches and you're making different decisions, if anybody would like to talk to us, where we don't do special ed, we do special education, give us a call or pop in and see us, 435-3069. Visit us on our website and come in and visit. We're here all through Easter holidays. We'll be happy to see you.